Hello everyone, my name is Liswan PUTERI. Today I will presentation or I will explain about the poetry period of American literature and period of English literature and phenomenology and critique and Platonic love and plot. Okay, let's start. Okay, the poetry. Poetry is the fight subject as old as history and all the present, wherever religion is present, possibly under some definition, the criminal and the primary form of language themselves. And in poetry, Meaning at Night by Robert Williams, telling about a man's struggle to meet the woman he loves, we can see that this man loves women very much in this poetry. And the next is the colonial period. The colonial period in the 1607 until 1775. The colonial period, self-narrative, a narrative, the common, the suffering as surprising, the reference of Brinton Hammond, Negro Man, they was published in Boston 1760. And the next, the Revolution Age in the 1765 until 1790. Important words include the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Paper of the Poetry of Joel Barlow and Philip Freneau. And the next, the early national period. The early national period in the 1775 until 1800 to 28. The fixed words such as the first American comedy right for the state, the contrast by Royal Tyrrell 1787, and the first American novel, The Power of Safety by William Hill 1789. And the next, the American Renaissance, also known the Romantic period, in 1828 until 1865. Additionally, this era is the inauguration point of American literary critics led by poets. The next, the Romantic period in 1865 until 1900. Crusade Romantic nation of American Regency are replaced by realistic description of American life, such those represented in the work of William Dean Howells, Harry James, and Mark Twain. And the next, natural period in the 1900 until 1914. American naturalist writers such as Frank Norris, Theodore Desir, and Jack London credit some of the most powerfully raw novel in American literary history. And the next is the modern period. In the modern period, in 1914 until 1939. And its major writers included such as powerhouse poets as E. Cummings, Robert Frost, Ezra Pound, William Carl Sandbrook, T.C. Eliot, Wallace Stevens, and Anna City, Vincent Millay. And the last, in the period of American literature, the contemporary period in 1939 until present. The next is period of language literature. The first is English period in 550 until 1066. The Anglo-Saxon also began writing in Latin, and poems written were already using vernacular language. And the next, Middle English period in 1066 until 1500. In the Middle English period, when they started literature and language deriving for the decline of the London era had become recognizably modern English that is similar to the language we speak and write today. And the next is Commonwealth period. In the period, England was ruled by Parliament under the Puritan leader Oliver Cromwell. His death in 1658 marked the dissolution of the Commonwealth. And the next is Romantic period. Romantic period in the 1785 until 1830. Romantic period is the term that covers the field of literary art that began to appear romantic novel that published. And the next, the Victorian period. The Victorian period in 1832 until 1901. This period, much writing whether imaginative or deductive in the phrase or in prose. In prose, they dealt word or reflected the pressing social, economic, religious, and intellectual issue. Next is Edwardian period in 1901 until 1914. The post is at this time gained many achievements in prose fiction work that published the last novel of the period. The Georgian period in 1910 until 1936, the Georgian period in a term applied both of the regions in England of the four successive Georgians 1714 until 1830, and more frequency to the region of the Georgian 1910 until 1936. And next is modern period. Modern period is frequently applied especially to the literature writing since the beginning of the world in 1914. And the next, phenomenology and critique. Phenomenology and critique, the philosophical principle and the method called phenomenology was founded by German thinker Max Husserl in 1859 until 1938. Platonic love. In the Plato Symposium 210 until 212, Socrates told the crown of Eros, which he said simple, had been imparted to him by the wise Diotima. It's all pleasure not to linger in love, caused by beauty in one human body. Is plot. Plot in dramatic or narrative work formed by event and action, because these are giving an order to activities, certain artistic, because they are giving an order to achieving certain artistic and emotional effect.